In a small village tucked between the cedar forests of Japan lived a young potter named Kaito. Kaito was not just an artisan. He was a seeker of the absolute. For Kaito, a single air bubble in the clay was a sin. A slight variation in the glaze was a failure of the soul. He spent his days in a pursuit that is the quietest form of madness, the pursuit of the flawless. Kaito believed that the divine could only inhabit what was perfect. He looked at the world and saw only chaos, the jagged edges of mountains, the irregular sprawl of trees, the messy emotions of humans. He wanted to create something that defied the chaos. He wanted to create a bowl so perfect that time itself would be afraid to touch it. For months, he worked. He sieved the clay until it was as fine as silk. He monitored the kiln's temperature with the precision of a surgeon. And then it happened. He pulled from the ashes a bowl of pure, iridescent cream white. It was thin as an eggshell, smooth as moonlight. It was, by every human standard, perfect. In that moment, Kaito didn't feel joy. He felt a terrifying burden. Because once you possess something perfect, you become a slave to its safety. He placed the bowl on his wooden table, his breath shallow, watching it as if it were a sleeping god. He was no longer a creator. He was a prisoner of his own creation. They say the universe has a way of correcting those who try to escape the law of change. It happened in a heartbeat, a sudden tremor of the earth, or perhaps just a momentary lapse in Kaito's weary grip. The bowl didn't just break. It surrendered. It shattered into 7 distinct pieces. Kaito stood in the silence of his workshop. The sunset light, once warm and golden, now felt like a mockery. He looked at the shards on the floor. In his mind, he wasn't just looking at broken clay. He was looking at his broken life. His identity as the perfect potter lay in pieces at his feet. He fell to his knees. He didn't cry. The pain was too deep for tears. It was the pain of a man who realized that his God was made of glass. For 3 days, he sat in the dark. He didn't touch the clay. He didn't light the fire. He was waiting for the world to end because he had lost the only thing he thought made him worthy. On the 4th day, an old monk who lived in the nearby temple entered the workshop. He didn't offer sympathy. He didn't say, "It's just a bowl." Instead, he picked up a shard and held it to the light. "Kaito," the monk said, his voice like the rustle of dry leaves, "why do you hate the broken?" Kaito whispered, "Because it is no longer whole. It is ruined. The truth is gone." The monk smiled. "The truth is not in the beginning, Kaito. The truth is in the endurance. A bowl that has never broken has no history. It has no courage. It is merely an idea. But a bowl that has felt the floor and survived, that bowl has a soul." The monk handed him a small jar of urushi, the sap of the lacquer tree, and a pouch of powdered gold. "Do not hide the cracks, Kaito. Honor them, for it is through the cracks that the light of the divine finally enters." This is the moment of radical acceptance. Kaito began to work, but his hands were different now. He was no longer working with the arrogance of a master, but with the humility of a healer. He didn't try to glue the pieces back so the seams would be invisible. That is the way of the ego, trying to pretend the trauma never happened. Instead, he mixed the lacquer with the gold. He painted the edges of the wounds. He held the pieces together with a patience he had never known. As he worked, he realized a profound truth. The crack is the most honest part of the object. Most of us spend our lives trying to hide our cracks. We hide our failures, our divorces, our bankruptcies, our mental struggles. We wear masks of perfect porcelain, terrified that if anyone saw the shards, they would turn away. We fill our cups with noise to drown out the sound of our own fragility. But Kintsugi teaches us that the scar is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to survival. When the lacquer dried, Kaito held the bowl once more. It was no longer the moon-white idol he had first created. It was something else entirely. It was a map of a disaster, traced in gold. He realized the bowl was now stronger at the places where it had broken. The gold and lacquer were tougher than the original clay. He also realized it was infinitely more beautiful. The perfect bowl was one of 1,000 identical ideas. The broken bowl was the only one of its kind in the entire universe. Its story was written on its skin. This is the lesson for your soul. You are not meant to be a pristine vessel. You are meant to be a lived-in vessel. Your cracks. The moments where life broke you, where you lost everything, where you felt the most vulnerable, those are not the end of your story. They are the places where you have the opportunity to pour the gold of wisdom, compassion, and resilience. Kaito walked to the window. He looked at the mountains again. For the first time, he didn't see chaos. He saw the interconnected wild. He saw that the jagged ridges of the mountains were just like the cracks in his bowl, the Earth's own scars from ancient tectonic shifts. He saw that the irregular bark of the cedar trees was a history of their struggle against the wind. He understood now. Nature is not perfect, it is honest. To empty your cup, as the scholars say, is to let go of the idea of who you should be. To heal the cup is to embrace who you actually are. You are a masterpiece of scars. You are a collection of broken pieces held together by the gold of your own spirit. Look at your life. Really look. Can you stop trying to fix the past? Can you stop trying to hide the cracks? The gold is already in your hands. All you have to do is start the mend. Empty your heart of judgment. Fill your cracks with gold. Touch the present. Breathe the wild and heal your soul.